Let's take a look at some of the things we can do in Design Mode. Design Mode lets you make an easy read document on the Photosymbols website. So I'm starting here in the picture library, which most of you are familiar with, and I'm going to begin by clicking the pink button in the top left that's called Design. We've got a few different options here. We've got booklets of different lengths. We've also got a letter template and a photo story template. Today I'm working with a 4-page booklet, so I'm just going to click Select. The first thing I'd like to do is customise the front page. So for most things in Design Mode, we double-click them to change them. I'm going to double-click the logo, and then I've saved my logo as a personal image. So I'm going to come to the Personal tab. I can see my logo there. I'm just going to click it, and you can see it's been added to my document. I'm going to change the title. So just like I did with the logo, I'm going to double-click it and change the text, and then click the Save button when I'm finished. For the front cover, I'm going to use another one of my own pictures, but this time I'm going to upload a picture. So I'm going to hover over this box and click Add Picture, then upload a picture and choose my picture from where it's saved on my computer. Now it's there for me to click, and I can add it to my document. You'll see I've got different options for what I can do with the image. I can drag it to change the size. I can put it in the centre. For this one today, I'm just going to make it as large as the box on the front cover. When I'm finished, I click back, and that takes me out of that editor. I'm going to change the text and the image at the bottom of the page here. So again, just like with everything else, I double click to change. Look for what I want to put in. My picture saves automatically. And with my text, I just press the Save button once I've finished editing. So before I move on, I'm going to rename the document, which I can do in the top right here. My document saves itself as it goes along, so I don't need to worry about that. Now I'm going to change the next page. So I can either choose my page from the drop-down menu, or if I go back to the front page, I can navigate to the page I want using the forward and back arrows. So let's just go to page 2. And we're going to add some text and images here as well. Let me show you this process of choosing a picture in a bit more detail. So I can search the library from here, or I can choose one of my favourite images that I've hearted in the library before. Or as you've already seen, I can use my own image. I've changed the text in my title. Now when I come to change this text, let me show you some other options that we have for text. I can make words bold if I want to. If I were to make a typo, I can go back to what I had there before. And another thing that I find easier, instead of clicking the Save button every time you want to come out of the text box, is just to press Enter on my keyboard, and that works in the same way. So I find that quicker if I'm doing lots of text boxes in a row. So for this text box, I want to have 2 sentences. So I'm going to type my first sentence. And then if I press Enter, remember that will take me out of the text box, and I don't want to do that. So instead, I'm going to write my first sentence, and then on my keyboard, I'm going to press Shift and Enter at the same time, and you'll see that it takes me onto a new line. and I can type again. So for this image, I would like to show both cups and plates. So I'm going to go into our picture editor. We'll go into more detail about how to use the picture editor elsewhere, but for now, I'm going to make an image that shows a cup and a plate. Once I'm finished, I'm going to save it, and I'm going to insert it into my document. I've finished making this now, and it's already saved for me in my Organise tab, but I'd like to download it as a PDF. If I click here, and then I'll show you what my downloaded file looks like.